Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe back, and I'm gonna do my weekly reading update for December 4th, 2022. It is starting to snow outside. It's not gonna stick. We're gonna have a lot of rain later in the day, but it's cold out there. I put my lights up this morning on my garage, so I'm ready for that. Luckily, I got that done before it started. But when I was in the backyard putting the cover on our patio set, we had detached it at one point to clean it off, and then I forgot to reattach it, and last night I saw it had blown off. So I went out there this morning, and well, I fell. Anyway, so I'm gonna have a massive bruise on my shin, or maybe more the calf muscle. I took the side of my right. I took most of the brunt of my falling on the concrete. Anyway, so it kind of hurts a little bit. Anyway, luckily I didn't do any other damage than that. Nothing on my hands. I was kind of worried I was going to hit my head on the table. Luckily, all it is going to be a bruise, hopefully. Anyway, so that's how my morning's going. And the snow it's just not right. Anyway, so we're going to continue on. Anyway, so, it was a weird week. Again, after having a week off, it's always hard that first day to go back, but really it wasn't that bad because, again, they only worked 3 days, so there wasn't too much piled up for me to do. It actually was a very quiet week. I listened to a lot of audiobooks this week because I did a lot of computer work where I was able to listen to my, books on audio and still be able to do my work because I wasn't having to concentrate too much. It was a little boring, but we made it through. I did want to just briefly show my new obsession. Well, not new obsession. Let's just put it this way. I used to do latch hook kits when I was a kid. And I just wanted to show that I've gotten pretty far on this one that I've started. So that's I did a lot yesterday for me. So again, it's the bottom part of an owl. And that was the first one I bought 2 weeks ago. I can't get the picture. Where's the picture? There it is. It's gonna be a cute little owl. And then of course I bought more. So I just wanted to show, just in case anybody, latch hook is fun. My cats don't like it because it takes up my lap. But I did want to just show them real briefly. And then the ones I got this week is this cat one. Can you see? Yeah. Anyway, so I'm going to try to do that later. And then also this one. I do think that's so cute, the cat on the books. Anyway, so this one just arrived this morning, or maybe it was yesterday. I don't know. I found it on my porch this morning after I went for coffee. So anyway, so I have 3 of them. They're all, the owl one is short and the other ones are the more matte size. So I'm not sure I'm going to use them for anything, or I'm just going to do, kitty. I'm not sure I'm going to do anything. might just latch hook them. I don't know if I'm going to hang them or I don't know what to do with them after I'm done, but I'm having fun, latch hooking again, because I can listen to audiobooks or watch, BookTube or something. Anyway, so I'm just wanting to say that's my new obsession. Not I'm doing it all the time. Like yesterday was the first time I'd done it in a week. Because just things going on. But it was fun. I really enjoyed it, and I'm hoping to get some done today. And oh, that's snow. Anyway, let's just go on. So let's talk about how I read this week, because I said, what are you doing? Anyway, so this week I did finish 7 things, but 5 of them were rereads. I am in a big rereading mood. I think, and actually I did read more than 7 books, but I'm going to explain that in a minute. But I am just in a really strange reading mood, and I'm just going to let myself go with it. I know I made up my TBR last week, and I had all these big plans, and I'm not saying I'm not going to get to a lot of those books. It's just things are not going the way I planned. But let's go through the books that I'll go through the ones what I called finished, and then I'll explain. The first thing I do want to mention is 2 weeks ago, I did DNF a book, and I just did not talk about it. I don't know why. I kept forgetting. Every time Sunday came around, I forgot about this. But I did read 2 weeks ago, I read 200 pages of The Company of Fiends by Catherine Moon, which is the second book in the Tempting Monsters series. The first book I read, what was the name of that one? A Lady of Rooksgrave Manor. And it was one of those series I was like, I'm not sure I want to continue. I physically own the first book, but I thought, okay, I still have KU for at least this month. So I thought, hey, I'll try The Company of Fiends, and if I like it, then I'll buy it. And then, then the third one's supposed to come out, I I think in June or something. And I thought it's a different people. And again, it's very much a one woman and a lot of guys kind of thing. But I hated this book. I cannot tell you how disappointed I was. I really enjoyed a lady from Rooksgrave Manor. It was just, that one was much more fun. There was a little mystery in that one too, but not too much. This one had a murder mystery, which you think would be good, except I didn't really like the main character, and I didn't like her love interest. So yeah, it was sexy scenes, but I was just bored. Like, I just didn't like it. And so anyway, I just wanted to mention I did try to continue this series in November, because then I've been caught up on the series, but I've decided to DNF the series. I still like the first book. I still have the physical first book. I don't know if I'm going to keep it or not, but I at least like the first book. So this was nothing of what I thought it was going to be. It's following a woman who works for a company, like a kind of vaudeville kind of thing, but very sexual play acting in front of a crowd of people who are different kind of creatures and stuff in like Victorian times. And yeah, the first book I liked. This one I did not. So I forgot to mention that before I talk about anything else. It was just, I forgot that was a DNF I did a couple of weeks ago and just didn't mention to you guys, because I didn't even tell you I was reading it, because I read it one day, no, a couple of days. It took, I don't know, on my Kindle. Anyway, because I had on KU. Okay, so the first book I finished this week was Into the Riverlands by Nie Vo. So I was partway through this. It was a very short novella in the Singing Hills cycle. I really enjoyed this one. Again, these stories are an interesting way to look at way stories are told or passed down or told to other people, and how they tell stories, and not always exactly what happened, but a way that, a way that kind of obscures part of some of the harsher parts of it and stuff. Anyway, so this one was just an interesting one. It went in a direction I didn't expect, which I like these. So I will continue to read these. I usually get them from the library. I did enjoy that. And it did just come out in the end of October? I think so. And so I had just gotten it. So I took it back to my library yesterday because I wasn't going to go today. And I had other books that were ones other people, this one had people waiting for, and other people had books that they wanted that I had. So I wanted to take them all back yesterday when I had a chance. So I took that back early. So then, because I read that short one, but I had started reading A Holiday by Gaslight, a Victorian Christmas novella by Mimi Matthews. I think on Sunday last week when I filmed my book haul, because I bought this, I read this last year, and I really, really enjoyed it. And I had it on ebook, or I got it from the library. I can't remember now which. But I've always wanted a physical copy. So I got one in November. I just figured, I just took I don't know if I had, I can't remember if I had credit or something. No, I think I just decided I was going to get it and get my own copy. So, because I do want to, like, this is like a Christmas tradition now. I really like this. This short story is, it's a Victorian novella, and we're following Sophie, who is, she is engaged, or not engaged. This man, his name went right out of my head. Edward or Ned, and they've been seeing each other for a couple months, but he doesn't talk to her, and she keeps trying the conversations, and she doesn't know what to say except for stuff about the weather. And she finally comes to the decision that it doesn't matter how bad off her parents' financial reasons to get her married off is. This is like kind of the marriage mark kind of thing, and so but she can't deal with it. He doesn't want to talk to her. So she breaks it off with him. And so it hurts both of them to do that, because they both felt that there was a potential, but nothing happened. And then things kind of happened where he was already invited to a Christmas party at her family's estate. And so she does make overtures to say, let's take a second chance to get to know each other, and this time actually talk. And I thought this was really sweet and cute. And Very, just a lovely, there is a side plot that I don't like. I don't like how when a couple gets together, also in here, I don't believe it. I don't really like that, but I love, Sophie and Ned. They were just so adorable. They just made me so sad. It's just so a heartwarming kind of thing. And so, I did reread this, so that's one of my rereads. And then on Monday I finished, so, okay, I'll get back to another books that I read. Let me just talk about the other rereads from this week, because there's a lot. So, I think on Monday I finished, Archangel's Viper, which is book 10 in the Guild Hunter series. Then I listened to all these on audio from my library. Because I've never listened to them on the audio before, and I just borrowed them to do my reread of this series. So again, I did number 10, Archangel's Viper. Then I did Archangel's Prophecy. Then I did Archangel's War. And then Archangel's Sun I finished on Friday. So this was the week of Nanglingy Singh, which is nothing new. If you've been here long enough, you know that I reread a lot of her books. I read a lot of her books, and I read them in like spurts. So again, I'm reading the whole Guild Hunter series. This is like urban fantasy where there are angels, vampires, and archangels who rule the world, and humans are there. But there are certain ones who are called Guild Hunters who actually go out and take or bring down kind of the vampires that kind of go, into bloodlust and who try to run from their responsibilities. But there's a huge overarching world where with the power structure with the archangels and how that affects the humans and the other angels and vampires, and you just get to know the whole cast of characters. The main couple, Elena and Raphael, get certain books throughout the series. The two in the middle here, Archangel's Prophecy and War, follow them. But then there are other books they have are like just different couples that get together. And so like Viper had two of my favorite characters in this. Archangel's Sun is just a fun one. I just love that book too. But again, it's just... I am just enjoying my reread. So I did all these this week. I did a lot of rereading this week. And again, I'm going to show you a little bit more here in a second. But anyway, that's kind of where I'm at on that. So that was most of my audio, except for one day, Tuesday, I believe, I listened to from the library, How to Do Nothing, Resisting the Attention Economy by Jenny Odell. I got this from the library. Also, it was kind of like a last minute nonfiction November pick. That it's one I've been thinking about, mostly just because, how the world, and I thought it would be interesting to see what she said. Now, I didn't get as much out of this as I would have liked. I think she does make some good points about stepping away from the whole social media stuff. Not like stepping away like fully, like she knows that that's kind of hard to do, but taking time to enjoy other aspects of life, like getting out into nature and getting away with friends and getting out and doing things where you can see and touch and feel, like have all your other senses, not just your eyes looking at social media. So I think there were some good things in here. I think some of her tangents were kind of weird. I didn't like the whole book. I think there's some parts I'm like, why are we talking about this? But I think overall the message is not to be on the computer all the time, not on your phone all the time. Be with people, not be looking at your phone when you're with them all the time. Just it's more not letting yourself like be put into this box where this is whatever you have on your social media is who you are. Definitely expand and see the world from, take the time to just sit and listen and to watch and to hear. And I think it's just a lot of I think there were some good things in here. As I said, it wasn't profound like overall to me, but I'm glad that's my 9th nonfiction that I finished for Nonfiction November. So I think I did pretty well considering I haven't been reading much nonfiction this year, which again, next year I'm going to focus back on that and make sure I'm reading at least a couple a month is my goal. But I'm so glad that as I said, I read 9 things. I didn't finish everything I wanted to, but I definitely made a dent in some of the things I wanted to read. So I did listen to that as well. So that was really good. So then I do... Oh, okay. Let's talk about one more DNF before I get to what I'm doing right now kind of thing. So I did pick up Mistletoe Christmas, which is an anthology, or has 4 novellas in here from 4 different authors. Eliza James, or however you say her name, Christy Cadwell, Jana McGregor, and Erica Ridley. So I haven't tried all these yet. I've tried 3 of them out of the 4. There's one more. The Jana McGregor I have not tried yet, so I might still give that a shot. But really, I'm DNFing this. I have read several collections, like, and again, I'm really, historical romance is more where I go for, other than paranormal and urban fantasy kind of thing. But like, when I go for a romance, it's usually a historical. I like that, the different time period. I like the different things and the constraints that they have with, how they're supposed to act and stuff. I don't know. I like the way a lot of authors deal with that. This had no men that I liked at all. Like, everyone I tried, I didn't like the guys, like, at all. Like, the love interest or their father, or the girls' fathers were all horrible. Like, just the ones that I read. And then it just seemed like, at least the first one, oh, he was horrible. And then their cousins were just like, oh, it's a girl, who cares, like, and I hated it. And I got 60 pages into the first one. I DNF'd because the romance started, but the guy was just like flippant about it. He's like, at first he's like, oh, she's just a plain Jane, I don't care, whatever. And then all of a sudden he kind of sees that she has a brain. Okay, well, that's good. But he just like falls in love with her like in an instant. And then she's, it's her reactions. I liked actually the main character in that first story. I just hated him, and I hated everything. And again, if I can't get behind them, there's no point. And then I did try the last one. I also read, I think I read 25 pages of that one. And because I thought, well, this one's she's more of a bookish. She was a poet, but her mom wants her to get married because they want to be able to get her well married and settled and stuff. And it's just, the guy that she meets is a poet, whenever he has his own backstory and stuff. And I didn't get quite that far, but he was just a jerk too. The things he thought about her and said. Yeah, this was a fail. I'm going to get rid of this. That didn't work out. So, I did like again, I read how the Duke Won Christmas, or whatever, the one that had Tessa Dare and Sarah McLean in that. Like, I liked those 2 stories. And then there was a story I didn't like. And then I think the other one was just okay. Like, that anthology was okay. Maybe I just need to stick to the authors right now that I enjoy. This was I was trying out authors I didn't know, and it was a Christmas theme, so I thought it would be good. No, I didn't like any of the guys, like, at all. And that's really unusual for me to be that, like, disliking them. So, yeah, it didn't go well. Anyway, so I don't think I have any other Christmas books that were on my... Oh, I have one more Christmas book. I'll read closer to the Christmas, but that will be more fun because that'll be adventure and stuff. And monsterish, I guess. Anyway, so I didn't read all of this, but this week most of my physical reading was rereading or skimming. So the first 2 books of the Plated Prisoner series, I pretty much skimmed through the story. I did read these in September. So not too long ago, but I want to read book 4. So, I just wanted to revisit certain scenes. So like in the first book, I read the beginning, and then I read a couple scenes in the middle, and then the end. I really wanted to read the end of this book because so many things happen in the end. And then in Glint, which is book 2, I kind of did the same thing. I read a little bit of the beginning. I read a couple of scenes that I remembered in the middle that I wanted to touch again. And then, of course, the end. So many things happen there, too. She's really good at her endings. One thing Raven Kennedy is very good at is her endings of her books. Always you want to read on. So I kind of skimmed and read the end to this one as well. This one, I read almost all of it. So I did not count pages for this. I don't count this as a full reread. I'm not going to mark it on my chart that way, due to the fact there were certain things I skipped over. And normally the only time I count pages and when I count a reread is when it's been over a year since the last time I read it. I used to have this rule where it had to be 5-10 years since I read it, but since I reread so much now and I read a lot of stuff, so I forget more as I get older. But this was really too soon. So this is more just letting myself get back into this world and remember all the little details of things that happened, because this book is so pivotal in this 5-book series. Again, there's only 4 books out, so but I let myself, take the time to reread this one this week. So I finished this last night or yesterday afternoon, and so again I was ready to continue on. So again, these are not counted as my rereads this today or this right now, but I did really reread almost the whole thing, and this is like 660 pages. Yeah, a little over 660 pages. So I read almost all those 600 pages. I mean, I would say maybe 60 of the pages I didn't read. I read most of that. So anyway, so that's all the stuff I finished or tried and, DNF'd. Right now I'm in the middle of Archangel's Light by Nalini Singh. This is book 14 in the Guild Hunter series. So I'm listening to this. I'm about, I'm over 2/3 now. So this, just about that or whatever. So this one I have reread this year. So technically this isn't a countable reread. But I'm listening to my audio. So, I think I reread it in January. Yeah, I looked it up. So, the rest of the Guild Hunter books I hadn't read in a year or two. So a couple years at least. So this is the one I reread the most recently, back in January. So anyway, I'm rereading this one by audio right now. So these are done by Justine Eyre, and so good. She's so good. Anyway, so this is the last one I'm going to reread. I'm not going to reread book 15 since that just came out and I just read it a little bit over a month ago. So I want to give myself some time on that one. But then after I finish this, I have completed my reread of the whole Guild Hunter series. And that includes, there were some novellas and stuff. So anyway, I'm really excited to finish this. This is one of my favorites of those series. So I am probably going to finish it up tomorrow morning at work, because I have about 2.5 hours left on that. Unless today I do some latch hooking, and then I will finish it. I'm hoping after that to pick up Shadows of Self and finish this out. I'm still about halfway. Yeah. I have made as I said, I've made a decision to not worry about the reading on in this series right now. I think I am going to go back and try to read The Way of Kings and get into the Stormlight Archive, because people are saying that in the Lost Metal there are things that connect to the Cosmere, and I'm not caught up on the Cosmere. I'm actually, as I said, I haven't read any of Stormlight Archive, and I still need to go back and actually finish Elantris, which I haven't done. And I know there's a lot of short stories and novellas. So after I finish Shadows of Self, I want to be able to try to get to The Way of Kings. So we'll see. That's my goal for next year. We'll see if I get to it. But anyway, I do want to finish this. I do want to know what happens. It's just I've not been in the mood for this, but I'm hoping that maybe Monday or Tuesday I can pick it up as the audio at work and get through it, because I just have like 4 hours left. So hopefully I'll do that. So I did pick up Glow, which is book 4 in the Plated Prisoner series by Raven Kennedy. I'm reading this right now. I'm only 50 pages in. So much happened at the end of book 3. And so that's why I'm so glad I reread most of that book of Gleam in order to get into this, because things are just going. It's going to hurt to get through this 714 page book and not be able to pick up the next one, because the next one doesn't come out till June. So I have a feeling that come May or June, I will be rereading these. I don't know if I'm going to do a full reread or just do a skimming read like I did with part of the series. We'll see what happens. It matters how this goes. I might only have to read this book. We will see. Reread. But we'll see how it goes. So I'm reading this one right now. So again, I didn't really say, this is following Oren, who is, she has like gold colored skin. She is the prized favorite of King Midas. And she has, when in the first book, Glint, she is pretty much kept in a cage that goes throughout part of the castle. But she is not to be touched by anybody, not to, no, she is Midas's. And he, again, has his ways. Anyway, so, but it's really talking about his, you know, trying to political machinations, and he's trying to manipulate and do things, and then it's her getting caught up in his decisions, and it kind of goes from there. And that's all I want to say about the series, but it's so good because the first books, they go, every book gets just different and different, like when it grows, because this world grows, you get to know people, there's more, you know, the world is more encompassing by the time you get to this book. Like the things we're learning right now in the beginning of this book is just like, oh, that's what they meant. You know, like I'm catching things that were from the other books. It just builds on each other. So I think it's a really great series. It is very, I would say, very sexy. And when it gets to that point, that doesn't happen till later in the books. There is a lot of sexual content like before that, but not, I would not say pleasant until the third book. But I love the characters in here. I love them. And this book is going to hurt me because the end of 3 was so painful, or some things that happened there. And we're going to see. So anyway, and again, this is one of my favorite series this year that I started. So I want to make sure that I'm caught up on the series at least. I could have waited, but I just couldn't. You know, like I said, I didn't read it in September, and I probably wish I should have. But I was trying to take a break from it, but I think I took too long a break, so that's why I did the rereading. But I'm gonna read this now. And then I don't know what I'm gonna read. Since this is 715 pages, and I'm only 50 pages in, you know, this is gonna take me most of the week to read, unless I read it super fast. But and then again, audiobooks, I'm gonna finish Archangel's Light, and then Shadows of Self, and then I have a couple other audiobooks that I've started this year that I'd like to finish. So again, some of those books that are on my currently reading set that I haven't got finished, so I'd like to knock off a few of those. And then I have library holds that are that might come in. So I've cut back my library holds a little bit, not enough, but I'm still working on them. So anyway, that is everything. It was a really interesting week. Let's see here. What did I do? I read a historical because it was a reread, but I'm still going to count it. I had, what did I say? 5 rereads? I'm going to count the 5 rereads. 3, 4, 5. I did DNF the, well, actually I'm going to count 2 because I didn't count the other one before. So yeah, I've had a lot of DNFs this quarter. Is that it? I think that's it. I didn't. Yeah. Not as much added to this one this week because I did so many rereads. But I have to say, sometimes that is just the best thing for me. And I do know that about myself, which is why, you know, I want to go back to some series that I've partially read, that I want to reread part of it and then continue on, and I want to do those rereads. So again, next year I'm going to pick a couple of those series. Haven't got my list finalized yet. I'll probably have a video on that later in the month. But right now I think I'm finishing my reread of Archangel's Light. So I don't know what as I said, I'm going to try to pick up books that I've already started on audio, and then whatever library books come in, but we'll see how the next week goes. I don't have any idea, because work makes it really easy for me to listen to an audiobook, because I'm by myself, and I do a lot of work on the computer or in the parts room, and I don't, there's nobody to talk to. So, I do a lot of audiobook listening. So anyway, that's it. How is your week going? How are you doing? That snow had better not stick. It doesn't look like it is. It's just blowing around. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to go, and probably read some Glow, or if my cats let me, I'll do Latchik and try to finish off Archangel's Light. We'll see what happens. Anyway, that's it. I don't have anything else going on this next week. just work. And I will see you guys later. Bye.